So here we are with another edition of Yogic Garden flower arrangement. So what I actually did this time was that I collected flowers from a field, and in this part of Germany, and also actually probably in the rest of the country, I'm not sure, there are farmers and they have their fields of flowers and you can just go and cut them. There's an honesty box, you put the money in, you get the flowers, and I think it's really nice way to get some flowers into your home, because you, first of all, you're supporting the local farmers, which is very important. Secondly, you know that it is from here. It hasn't traveled from all over the world. It hasn't come from South Africa or from Holland or wherever the flowers come from, and you are pretty sure that it is, I hope, biological or organic flowers. Well, to cut the long story short, the flowers that I have this time, I picked some sunflowers. Right now the big ones are already over, and so they had the small ones, but I actually prefer the small ones in arrangements. Then I got some dahlias. Unfortunately, they just had one kind of dahlia in the field where I normally go to pick my flowers. So this is the one, and I think it's a very beautiful chocolatey colored dahlia, so I thought that would actually be a good contrast to the sunflowers. But what I do have from my garden is this chocolate dahlia. That's this one here. It's the small one here, and looks a bit dusty right now. It hasn't rained for a couple of weeks, so things don't look very fresh. Now, the important thing when you do an arrangement is, of course, not the flowers itself, but also the foliage, which many people forget. And I personally think that's the background, the backdrop of the picture, if you want to put it that way, that you're going to paint. So it's extremely important to actually have the foliage right. What I did was to pick the foliage from my garden. So I have the small leafed laurel here, which is this one, which is actually a shrub that grows prolifically, and you can just cut it whenever you want. It gives a very nice grid framework, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. The second foliage that I got was this lace cap hydrangea. It's this one. I've left the berries on, and some of the flowers that have already faded, so it's kind of a reminder that it's autumn. So that's the one, and the third one is grass, because I think they all fit together with this autumn collection quite well. So now we should get stuck in. Now, before I do, the other thing which is also very important is that, especially with the things like sunflowers, is that when you cut it, you take it to the height where you want it, and then you plunge it in boiling water such that it remains fresh. The head doesn't droop, because the sap can then remain at the stems. Alright, so first things first, foliage. Now I have more or less cut them to the same height, more or less, not everything to the same height, of course. So if I take the laurel out, see exactly, these are the church bells. Can you hear the church bells? That's the 2 o'clock bell in our village. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a grid. So I'm holding it. It's an absolutely gorgeous autumn day. This time of the year, I think what is very important is the light, because the sun changes. The light becomes really soft and golden, especially after sunset or right before sunset, when the sun is on the west side and you have it slanting through the leaves and the golden light. And there is something very melancholic about it, but that's the way life is. What am I doing? Oh yeah, second one. So that's the first grid. Now you take the second foliage, which is this hydrangea, and you lace it through. So I just have 2 of these because I didn't want this to be completely full hydrangeas. So you see what I mean by creating this grid, right? Now what I'm going to do this time is a little bit different, because I'm going to put the third foliage, which is the grass, at the end of it, because I do want it to have a better effect through the flowers, which is what I'm going to do then. So I start with the sunflowers, which is the biggest one. turning, because you want it to look good from all directions. Just pop that through. And always remember, if your foliage looks good, your arrangement will look good. It's very important. People pay far less attention to foliage, and I think they actually should, because that's going to hold the arrangement up. If you don't have a gardener, if you don't have a mature gardener you can collect flowers from, this is a good way to get some arrangement and some flowers into your home. So just go to the local farmer if he happens to have such fields, and then you can get some fresh flowers, but you're supporting the local community. So now my sunflowers are in one place. Okay. Now I'm going to start with this dahlia. So that's the one. Right through there. Okay. Down here. Yeah. This is already becoming very big for me to hold, and that's because of the laurel. That's all right. Push that in there. And you see, so this is what happens, because when you hold it in a grid and this just comes through, and then you can just pull it to where you want. So if you can see that, and you'll see it's already beginning to actually have a beautiful and a very natural look to it. So that's the other one coming in here. And it doesn't matter if it all has different heights, and the one thing that you can of course always do is, once your arrangement is done, if you think there is some foliage that is blocking the flowers, then just cut them. Last one? No, there's another one. So really look through. There we go. Turn it again. Where should I put this? So keep changing it, moving it, playing with it. You're supposed to have fun with your flowers, and there is no rule. Nothing should be. So now in this one, because I have picked quite a number of dahlias from the garden up till now, so this is already over. This is over. This is over. This is over. So I might as well take the whole thing off. So just have the chocolatey flower. So I want to leave that a little proud. So take the next one. Now here it's the same story. You see, this is a bud, but it's not going to bloom anymore because I've already chopped it off. So I might as well take the whole thing off, the leaf off. There shouldn't be any leaf in the water, because that's what's going to make it smell. Smelly water. Okay. Now here as well. So that's the squirtle. Take off the leaves. At this point, if you think there are some leaves below your hand, just strip them off. You definitely don't want them. Okay, now, and this is why I wanted to keep this till the very last moment, is the grass. So this is going to give it a lightness, which is why I wanted it last, so I can weave it through, see where I want the airiness to come into this arrangement. Okay, turn it around. This is an interesting dahlia because it keeps drooping its head. I wonder what kind it is. There was no sign in the fields. So I think that is more or less the effect that I wanted. As you see, there is a lot of foliage in it, and this is something that's very unusual. You probably won't get it from a florist with lots of foliage, but I think it's important because it offsets the flowers. If you only have flowers, what happens is that the eye does not know where to look first. So it looks very nice and very beautiful and extremely colorful, but you actually do not know how the eye should follow, because that is the basic principle of design, is you should have one thing where the eye goes into and then the eye can follow, and it's your job to actually guide the eye in the way that it should go. And so foliage actually really does that. It's just taking, it's providing the background for the flowers, for the stars, and it's equally important. So at this point, I'm going to keep turning it around and keep looking if I like it, if I want to make any adjustments. And I might want to move this sunflower to somewhere in the middle. It's this one. So what I do, I loosen my grip a little bit, just take it off, and then try to weave it where I want. Loosen the grip a bit. Juggle, wiggle it around, and then there it is. It's in. Okay. Alright, I think I'm fairly pleased with it. So, chop off the ends. And get your string. Should have done this before. Chop it off. Make a loop. Put it through. Put the string through the loop. And pull. And voila. At this point you can put it down because it's tightened. Then you just tighten it around. Alright, so there you go, something very beautiful from the fields.